Hi, it's Mike Mikowski, and I'm back with another Gemini What If. This time I'm going to do a concept sometimes known as a Gemini Interceptor from the Manned Orbiting Stations and Alternatives study of 1963. This was done for the Air Force back then when they were trying to figure out how to make a space station and what they could do. One of the things they thought they could do with it was to inspect satellites to see what they were up to, and if necessary, they would take them out, shall we say, or at least disable them, or just inspect them. Anyway, this concept's been around. A number of people have kind of popularized it, and I thought it'd be kind of fun, a little different. There's only this single sketch, and so we're going to go from there.
Well, the first steps will be the usual assembling the capsule. Since the capsule will be all closed up, just gonna glue the interior parts together, give them a little gray primer, and paint the astronauts, clean them up a little bit, just paint them white, do a little bit on the head, because that's about all you can see through the tiny little windows. So we'll do that. Not gonna correct the coves, but of course this is an old kit, so I will need to patch up these nasty, what I call the eyebrows on the hatches. It's very hard to find a kit that is old enough that has those fixed up. Now, modifications for this version include modifying the adapter so that it's completely different on the inside and that we can open up some hinged panels on here. So all the RCS and the OMS engines, orbital attitude maneuvering system, has been moved to thrusters on the booster stage. So all those ports and interior things like the little thruster that are shown on the inside of this retro adapter, they're gone. So we cleaned those out, and we'll take the bulkhead out of the main adapter. And what I've been doing is just taking a sharp scribing tool and running it around the inside of this, scoring it enough to come through. When you start seeing on the other side, I'm going to cut that out and clean that up and glue them together and completely redo the adapter, which is now a payload bay of sorts. Get enough of this? Here we go. Looks like I got it. Yep. Ta-da! Now here's my least favorite part of building 48 scale or any scale Gemini spacecraft. It's this RCS section, and this just second place, slightly behind it, is the nose section here, the recovery section. This isn't round. You put these two parts together, and it's not really quite round. You've got, using the towel here to show a background, you've got, this is very thick here, it's very thin there. It's a big step there. You've got notches here where they put in attachment points. So that's got to be filled in. The top joint needs 2 rows of shingle washers. The side has no shingles at all. It's where the horizon sensor cover would go. So there's that big hole that needs to be filled, and it's just a mess. And then you got to figure out how this is going to line up. So this will line up with the double row at the top. And of course the rows don't exactly match up, but you know, you make it work eventually. You know, you can see I use one in the background generally for a reference, but it's just a lot of work. It's just a lot of work. And then, you know, I'll do something with the nose, put one of Glenn Johnson's noses on it. It's just a lot of work to fix this. So hey, all my 3D design printer buddies out there, please make me a new replacement nose section for Gemini. So that's what you got to do. So I've just started this. I got these glued together. I started enhancing the shingle lines, and I'll put some styrene chunks in these holes. It's better than putty, and try to round these edges off and replace the shingle washers. And it's tedious, but it needs to be done to make it look right. So far what I've done is take the RCS section and add a few more strips of styrene to where I need to replace the washers. And that's set up overnight. I added a couple more, put a little putty to reinforce the hole here. This is where the attach point is for the horizon sensor in the kit, which of course we'll replace. So that's set up and we'll continue working on that. Meanwhile, the doors actually on this copy fit pretty well on the bottom, the landing gear hatches that closed up nicely. And I have the cockpit assembled. Again, you're not going to see much, so it's just a little bit of gray primer. And cleaned up the shingle washers edges a little bit with some scribing tools just to kind of sharpen that up. And I've got the Real Space nose glued on. Also on the adapter, which is going to be cut open, I smoothed down the joint here a bit to try to make it less prominent. You know, I don't know what they had in mind in 1963, but assuming they were just going to leave these together, and I'm not going to get too crazy about it. But I kind of smooth that down, make it less prominent, and the next thing will be to start cutting this open. That'll be fun.